about business, finance, economics, and market on the Small Business Show with Johannes Baloni.
Welcome to the Small Business Show, where we take a close look into the world of small business. We engage with entrepreneurs to unpack how they navigate through the business space. And today on the show, we are joined by Tony Nkgau, the founder of Nkgau Cleaners. Tony, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me on the show, Mr. Baloi. It's a pleasure, sir.
It's a pleasure, Tony. Tony, observing you from how you've built your business from a distance, I think you have done one of the most phenomenal work. And sometimes I imagine to myself how you did it. And I think maybe we can start the conversation with a question of a lot of entrepreneurs at the beginning of building their business. They are struggling with this idea, with this thing of wanting to have the clear picture of what the business will look like before they start building the business. And I want to understand with you, because you are familiar with this. You've started your business from scratch, from the ground. And I want to understand, by the time you were working around the idea of Nkgau Cleaners, did you have the full picture or the clear picture of what the business will look like?
Yes, I did. I can put it in simple terms. I had a vision. Yes, it was more of a vision. I saw a gap in the industry of cleaning. And then I saw that in terms of marketing, it was favorable, considering that I'm in a city. So a lot of people are going up and down with their daily routine, daily duties. So there's always this gap of them not having time to do other cleaning service that Nkgau Cleaners provides. And to add on that, also the advantage of the skill and the necessary tool. So that's how the vision came about. And then every day from now, it's about growing the vision, turning it into a reality.
And you're talking about something that is very interesting. It's about having the skill. So I want you to perhaps touch more on that, to say that, to ask a question that when you talk about a business, and more especially in terms of providing a service, it requires some sort of like having a skill in that particular field. So for you, in terms of the skill of being in the commercial and industrial cleaning, did you have some sort of like a training before, or is something that you got into it and learned more as you were into the space?
But it's like when you are a learner and then you're being taught how to drive a car. You only get good when you are behind the steering wheel. So the experience comes from doing it. For example, it was always a first time doing a certain service. And then also another thing is that the stage where you perform your cleaning duties, sometimes, let's say I started with the household, and then it grew up, and then now I went into commercial. So you can see now that you are dealing with professional people, and then it's office areas where they are welcoming clients suited for the magnitude of the business or the status of the business. So things have to be done properly. So you can see that there you cannot afford to go wrong, or you cannot afford to make mistakes, because as much as it will give a bad impression of yourself, it also will affect them as a big brand. So the more you do it, it's the more you get better.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. And as you mentioned that you learn as you do, and so I think that would take me to the next question of asking that, what kind of challenges have you encountered at the beginning of building your business, and how did you deal with those challenges?
I can say the challenges that I faced are normal challenges that any business that starts from the ground it will eventually come to face. When you are in the growth phase, or should I say when you are in the introductory phase, you're trying to get people to buy your brand. You are trying to get people to buy your name. You are trying to get people into believing that you can actually get the job done. It's not easy, considering that I established myself in the city and then I am from the rurals. So I'm a new person there. I don't know anyone, but then you come to say I am Nkgau Cleaners. These are my cleaning services. How do you get the people convinced? How do you get people convinced that you can actually do the job? How do you win your fan base? How do you get your market at the right place at the right time? Those were some of the challenges. But then in marketing, there is something we call the 4Ps. We'll talk about that some other time. But then, considering the services that I was selling, considering the price, obviously, when you just introduce yourself, you will not be on the market value as the ones that already were existing. So that when people slowly integrate with the services and your system, it's now that you can step up a bit. So I can say that telling people or selling the idea was the hardest thing. But then thanks to technology, like on your social media platforms now, you can post what was being done for the day. You can post how the situation was before the cleaning. So people come to just see the videos, they see the posts, they see the advertising, and then now they will start following you to see how you manage other things, and then people will come inbox, do you do this and that? Now it's starting to be lighter compared to how it was before. So that's what I can say on that.
And you also mentioned, I think it's one of the most important thing in business, building trust with people, having people to trust you to do what you say you can do best. And how important is trust in business, more especially as a service provider, in your experience?
It's a core factor. It is very, very, very important to win a trust of your clients and potential clients, because there's what we call word of mouth. Someone knows how cleaners because they've done a service for them before. The next person will ask, how are they? How are their services? Out of 10, how can you rate them? You see, that factor is the one that brings potential clients closer.
And so you said that when you started the business of venturing into the space of commercial and industrial cleaning, you saw some sort of like a gap of people not having the time to look into cleaning. And so the question that I want to ask is, from the time you started up until at this point, is there growth in the space of commercial and industrial cleaning?
Yes, there is growth, because remember when we started off, we started doing a household cleaning. That was just a start, so that it can give us finances to buy equipment, to buy chemicals that will qualify us to handle projects within the commercial and industrial sector. So we have grown a lot, and hopefully we will grow to a point whereby we will be able to create employment all over. That's our goal, to also branch from different provinces, because under our client base, we have big entities as Clarence Mangena Attorneys Incorporated. We have Kevin Munisi Attorneys. We have Dr. Lidwaba is an orthopedic. We have the Director Makafula, big restaurant facilities in Polokwane as Uhuru. We have your ML Tobejani, LM Tobejani. We have your companies like Dynamite. We have so many companies under our client base. So it's a step to show that the company has progressed from where it was 5 years ago when it was started. So
It is 5 years now.
Yes, we are 5 years. In a month's time we'll be turning 6 years. We are 6 years in the building. We are 6 years
on
of
that.
experience. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So it's been 6 successive years of cleaning, gaining experience and exposure.
That sounds interesting, and it's beautiful to hear that. And so, what services do you offer?
We offer all cleaning services. From your spring cleanings, we do deep cleanings, we do vacuum. We specialize in upholstery and carpet cleaning. We have extreme machineries, industrial machines, whereby we are able to wet and dry up surfaces. We do rubble collection, rubble removal, waste removal. We also specialize in after construction recovery, those heavy duty rubbles, and also after events recovery, whereby after big events we are able to do the dirty job. So we specialize in all cleaning needs. And also we've recently acquired a license in the medical waste removal sector.
So that actually needs some sort of like a license to operate in that space.
Yes, that one it needs a license.
You are mentioning the issue of having a license. So in the industrial cleaning space, is there some sort of like an authorization? I don't know if authorization it's a word that can be used to be able to operate in that space, because like from what you're saying, I get an understanding that for you to be able to operate and to serve specifically the clients who are in the medical space, you need some sort of like a license to operate there. So is medical space the only space where you need some sort of like a license?
I won't say the only, but so far with the projects that we've came across, the only license was the one for the medical waste removal, of which we obtained. Yes, because it's like a criminal act for someone to be seen carrying around the medical waste from missionaries, because you might be arrested. Questions and where do you take this? Yes, where are you taking them from? Where are they going? And also vehicles that support the services also are required. So that's why it needs a license. It's a bigger one, that one.
Oh yeah, now I get it, I understand. And so like in this 5 years time of being in business, what is it that you can say you've learned that has actually helped you so much to be able to get you where you are now?
I can say that as an entrepreneur, I have learned that you always have to be on the lookout. You have to study the change in the market, change in the socials, and then the reaction of clients. Because if you can look now, everything is socialized. People now make more money on the net than they actually do in the physical world.
Okay.
You can see these people who are uploading, people who are streaming, and then they make money from there. So it's about being aware of the change of time. Back then, we used to do what you call a showmanship marketing, whereby we would be on every corner, on every robot, on every street in the city, to give out flyers, tell people that if it's not clean, it's not us. We are how cleaners. But now we've seen that a lot of people are following, a lot of people are watching, a lot of people are monitoring. So we have shortened the gap between the company and the potential clients. So it has taught me that you always need to change with times, because some businesses have collapsed because they couldn't move with times. So I can say moving with times will also get us very far in years to come.
Yeah, it sounds like that is something that has actually helped you in terms of getting to where you are, making use of technology, because technology these days, it seems to be a tool that works so effective in terms of helping businesses to grow.
Yes, and you must know, we haven't even reached 30% of what we want to achieve as a company, meaning that we consider ourselves that we are still way behind. But then in terms of exposure, we are now wide awake, meaning that we have to push to our maximum best. Because if I say we haven't even reached 30%, it means that there's still a long way to go. So we are always on the lookout, seeking opportunities. We are out there raising our hands to say we are available. We can actually do the job. So we are coming all right. We are on the right path.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Sounds amazing. Tony, it's been a pleasure to have this conversation with you. And before we close the conversation, I think maybe we might close with this last question, a golden nugget. We normally talk about work-life balance, but in your case, I understand that you having a business and on the other side you're also employed. So I want you to to paint us a picture of what is the work business balance for you.
For myself, I can say it's not too difficult, because my company is an everyday thing. It's what I wake up to every morning. It's what I wake up to do in every day of the week. And then being employed, it's something that I do part-time. A company will call me to come and do a certain thing at their companies, of which I will only do during my spare time. So it's not an everyday thing, but then there is balance.
Yeah, I get you. Well, Tony, it's been a pleasure to have this conversation with you.